Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel English by Nisa. So in this video we are going to discuss degree semester 4 first unit prose, that is the Grammar of Anarchy. It is a speech by BR Ambedkar. So before moving further, let us see the title. What is the meaning of this title, the Grammar of Anarchy? So students, everyone knows that grammar is nothing but it is a set of rules. Now what is the meaning of anarchy? Anarchy is nothing but it is the period in which the state was without any authority or any government. As you can see here on the screen, anarchy means a state disorder due to the absence or non recognition of authority or other controlling system. In this period, India doesn't have any rule or any specific law, any authority. That period is called anarchy period. As we people all know that we all celebrate Independence Day and Republic Day, but we don't understand the concept behind Independence Day and Republic Day. On 15 August this 1947, India became an independent country. After that, India left without a proper government. That period is called anarchy period. After independency, India doesn't have any particular authority or rule. So that was the period when some people came forward, like one of those BR Ambedkar, and they created some document called Constitution of India. That document which could help the Indians to lead a proper systematic and organized life in India. So all the rules and laws like democratic rule, independence rule, the humans rule, laws and judicial rules, everything was made, means everything was formed in that constitution. And on 26th January, that is the period when India got Republic Day, mean India become a Republic Day on 26th January 1950. So these year from 1947 to 1950 there was no proper format of rules. So without we had no rules in that specific period. So this period is called anarchy period. So that only B.R. Ambedkar discusses in the speech, that particular speech, that whatever his anxieties was there related to India, that we will discuss in this lesson. So now we know that we celebrate 15 August as Independence Day, as we got independence from the British rule, and on 26th January as Republic Day, because we got proper constitution and rules on 26th January. So that's why we celebrate these 2 days with so much dedication. Now let's students start our chapter, what he said in his speech. Before seeing the chapter, let us know about this author, this B.R. Ambedkar. So Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, he was an Indian jurist, economist, social reformer and also political leader who headed the committee drafting the Constitution of India. He was the chief architect of the drafting committee of the Constitution. So let's start his speech. What he said. The speech was he gave on November 1949, 2 months before the Republic Day. So this speech is the extracted form of the closing speech in the Constitution Assembly on November 25th, 1949 in the Parliament. So the speech delivers the diversity of India, the socio-economic challenges which are means India going to face after the independence. That only he has shared in his speech. It focuses on the implementing of the constitution for the sake of the people. Means whatever rules and laws were there, he focuses to implement for the people, for the sake of the people. He emphasizes on the social equality. And also, in order to maintain democracy, he feels that India should be strong enough to hold its fragments together. So, in that particular speech, he gave three advices to the people of India. Now, this whole speech on these three advices only. Let's start the first advice. What is the first advice? Is to give up the grammar of anarchy. Now, what is the grammar of anarchy according to this B.R. Ambedkar? So, he started his speech by saying that on 26th January 1950, India would be democratic country, in a sense that India from that day would have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So he said that we are going to enter in a period where the government only for the people. and he shared his anxieties also. He said the first thought that come to the speaker's mind was whether India would maintain her independence or would she lose it again. The point in the speaker's mind was that India once lost the independence she had. Would she lose it again the second time or maintain it? It is the thought which made anxious him for the future. So as you can see here, will history repeat itself? It is the thought which fills me with anxiety. This anxiety is depend by the realization of the fact that in addition to our old enemies are nothing but this caste and creeds. So in the form of caste and creeds, we are going to have many political parties with diverse and opposing political creeds. So this the give up the in grammar of anarchy, what he said, he clearly opines that if we wish to maintain democracy, in fact the first we must do is to hold fast to constitution methods of achieving a social and economic objectives. So here the speaker wants to abandon the method of revolution. What is the method of revolution? That civil disobedience, non corporation and satyagraha. So in constitutional method, if he said that if constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for unconstitutional methods. These methods are nothing but the grammar of anarchy, because during that British rule, when the Britishes were ruling on us, there were no proper rule was there and law was there. But now he said that now constitution has made, now we have constitutional method, now these constitutional methods are open, so there can be no justification for unconstitutional methods like this non satyagraha, means satyagraha, non corporation movement and civil disobedience. So he called these all methods as the grammar of anarchy, that three things: satyagraha, non corporation, civil disobedience. And he said that sooner they abandon, the better for us. As soon as possible, we should abandon these things. Now, the second thought he shared, the second advice to avoid hero worship. So he said that the second thing we must do is to observe the caution which John Stuart Mill had given to all who were interested in the maintenance of the democracy, namely, not lay their liberties at the feet of even great man, or to trust him with the power which enables him to subvert their institutions. Means here he said that we should not do the bhakti to the people. He said that there is nothing wrong in being grateful to the great men who have rendered their lifelong service to the country. But there are limits to the gratefulness, as has been well said by the Irish patriot Daniel O'Connell. Means there are some limits to be the grateful of the person. Like no man can be grateful at the cost of his honor, no woman can be grateful at the cost of her chastity, and no nation can be grateful at the cost of its liberty. So this is the statement of Daniel O'Connell. This Daniel O'Connell emphasizes on the liberty of nation. So in these words, every nation needs to protect its liberty at any cost. Just like a man won't compromise his honor, or a woman, she won't compromise with her chastity or for anything in the world. In the same way, no nation can be grateful at the cost of its liberty. We should not lose or leave our liberty at any cost. So he said that this caution is far more necessary in the case of India than in the case of any other country, because in India people do the bhakti to the people. That's why he said that it is more necessary in India. For in India, bhakti, or what may be called the path of devotion or hero worship, play a part in its politics unequal in magnitude by the part in place in the politics of any other country in the world. So he said that in India only people are worshipping, not in any other country. We have these things in India only. So he said that bhakti in religion may be road to salvation of the soul. Means if we are doing bhakti to the God, then it will lead to our salvation. Means we are removing our sins. But in the politics, if we are bhakting to some hero, so that will lead to road of degradation, means our downfall. So he said that worship, means bhakti or hero worship, is a road to degradation and eventual dictatorship. Means we are making him hero and he will rule on us. So that's why he said that there are some rules to be gratefulness. There are some limits. There are some limits to be gratefulness. Third advice he gave to work for social justice and political democracy. Here, Ambedkar argues that we must not be content with merely political democracy. We must make our political democracy into a social democracy. Means we should have a way of life which recognizes the liberty, equality, and fraternity as the principle of life. For the purpose of democracy, these three principles must be united, which means this liberty cannot divorce means separated from the equality, and equality cannot be separated from liberty, nor can liberty and equality be separated from the fraternity. What is the meaning of fraternity? Nothing but it is a sense of common brotherhood of all Indians. It means a sense of oneness. We all should live together. So without equality, be divorced from paternity. So without equality, liberty would produce supremacy of the few over the many. And equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. And without fraternity, liberty and equality could not become a natural course of thing. So that means that these all three are inseparable for each other. So, according to Ambedkar, social democracy is a way of life which recognizes liberty, equality, and fraternity as the principles of life. These three principles are united and must be treated as together in Trinity. Means these three are inseparable with each other. So, we should take it as unity. So he said on the 26th January 1950, we are going to enter into a life of contradictions. What are those contradictions? The contradictions are in politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. Like in politics, we will be recognize the principle of one man, one vote, one value. In social and economic life, we shall be the reason of our social and economic structure that continues to deny the principle of one man, one value. These are the contradictions. So he expresses anxiety here that how long shall we continue to live this life, like life of contradictions? How long shall we continue to deny the equality in our social and economic life? If we continue to deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. Peril is nothing but in serious danger. So here he advised us to balance our social and political life. And he advised we must remove this contradiction at the earliest possible moment, or else those who suffer from inequality will blow up the structure of political democracy which this assembly has laboriously built up. At last he said, will India place the country above their creed, or will they place creed above the country? I don't know. But this much is certain that if the parties place creed above country, or our independence will be put in jeopardy. Jeopardy is nothing but in danger. A second time and probably be lost forever. Means once we got independence, fortunately we got independence, but in the second time, if we lose our independence, we lost it forever. This eventually we must all resolutely guard against. We must be determined to defend our independence with the last drop of our blood. So, student, this is all about the grammar of anarchy. The grammar of anarchy is nothing but BR Ambedkar shared that we should abandon the rule of that non-corporation, civil disobedience, and satagira, that is grammar of anarchy, and we should avoid the hero worship. In the last, he told social justice. We should balance the social justice and political democracy in our life. So, student, this is all about the grammar of anarchy. I hope it would be helpful for you. Stay tuned for more videos and thanks for watching.